tell us about the channel. I guess it's what you refer it to right now. Is it a channel? Is it a casting show? Is
no,
it
what
do you refer to?
We refer to it as a channel. Kasting Coastal is the name that we went with, and me and him took the time, figured out what we wanted to name it. We kind of thought about that for a while, and then we said, let's do it. We just talked about it and said, let's commit to it and let's do it. And I've always, wanted to do it. I've always wanted to get out there and help people fish.
Yeah.
Help people, especially, I guess the military was a big part of it, because knowing my background, I would get a lot of guys being on base all the time that would come in from out of town and not have a clue how to fish. Right. And I'd get that constantly over the years. And I'd get, DMs, texts, you name it. And so I said, man, let's commit to something to help the average guy here, because it's such a military town. You got Ingles, you got people that come in from all over that work here. So, and that was really the deal behind it, was letting, teaching guys that necessarily maybe grew up in Ohio, Illinois, something like that, and let them, hey, I want to go on the weekend with my kids and catch a few speckled trout. So that was kind of the concept behind the initial start of the channel. Yep.
What was the learning curve coming from Chalmette over here to these waters?
Good fishing to shit fishing. Less than good fishing.
No, I mean, what was? I mean, y'all had to learn.
There's not a lot of bayous,
right?
So you had to learn how to fix structure.
Yeah, y'all are mostly over in Chalmette. I would say popping corks, looking for birds, redfish on top of water. It's kind of the same over here, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
It's plentiful, right?
Right. So I guess you had to.
Yeah,
you couldn't just say, "Hey, I'm going to put a fishing show on and go fishing the next day and just catch nothing for hours and hours." So you got to do some scouting, right?
Yeah, you also had a lot of time down here already.
I did. I've already had 13 years down here, or whatever. Okay. So I learned that early on when I first got here and started to fish. It was not Louisiana, and I learned that
you got to earn it, baby.
I'm telling you, the first 7 or 8 years, guys. I'm telling you, I even got into trolling. I even got into, kingfishing, all that, because it was just a game changer when I got here, that you were not launching out of Ocean Springs Marine and catching 75 speckled trout in an hour. It was not happening. No. It humbled me. It really, truly humbled me to the point where I said, well, let me try some trolling. Let me try dropping it to rigs. But as time went on, I started to meet people, Rocky and different things like that. I was like, I can do this. I just got to look at it from a different angle. And I got to look at it as, okay, we're not in Louisiana, but where are the fish hanging? So we took a lot of education and learned that, structure here, you had to put yourself underwater here. I know it sounds kind of funny, but to me, you got to take your brain and put it underwater and figure out how the tide's moving, what structure's under there, because there's so much open water here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of fish to be caught, but it's much tougher here. Absolutely. It's much tougher to catch inshore species here, especially you go out there and want to catch a limit of speckled trout. That's hard here. Yeah, that's especially with a 15-inch limit here. Mm-hmm. But as time went on, I've learned the islands, learned the grass beds, learned what works, what doesn't work. Think that you're going to grab a matrix shad under a popping cork, and it's not happening. It's not happening. Now,
it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger when you get back, because you're going to throw a cast 1,000 times. But
Yep. It kind of blew my mind when I first got out here and started to realize, man, it's such a shift. You drive an hour and a half to Slidell and you can limit out, in an hour under some birds.
Right.
And it's just not the case. Yep. It's just not the case here. So, it took many years of learning the waters, but it was fun to me. Right. I mean, that was the best part of it is learning the things that work here that absolutely would not work in Louisiana. But here, because of the environment and the way these fish live, that's the way it is, and that's